Hey guys, how's it going? Eminem Gaming here, and today we're back with another video. And today we are going to be talking about Xbox's E3 press conference. Now, I am doing every single company's press conference, recap everything, give you guys my opinion. I think the only one I won't do or upload to my channel an hour or so after the press conference is Bethesda, because it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. So I do apologize about not being able to watch that live and upload a video half an hour or so later, but the rest I will. So if you're interested in my take on the EA E3 play, whatever it was called, make sure you check out that video. But without further ado, let's just get into this Xbox E3 press conference recap, and yeah, just give you guys my opinion on what I thought of it, what I was hoping for, all that good stuff. So there's a lot of stuff here. If I kind of skip over something or speak about something quickly, make sure to let me know down below your thoughts on everything that we talk about. But yeah, let's just get into it. And they started off the conference with a really cool, hype trailer is what I call them. But yeah, a little sizzle reel talking about true 4K and power and all this sort of stuff. They had Master Chief on there, Gears of War, Forza, and all that sort of stuff. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. And then they come out on stage and announce the name Xbox One X, and it will have a November 7th worldwide release. Now, my thoughts on these: for Xbox One X, I like the name. I actually think it's pretty catchy. However, my only worry about the whole Xbox One X thing is it's very similar to the Xbox One S, if that makes sense. Having that letter. I don't know if that'll be confusing for consumers. Obviously I know the difference, and if you're watching this video, you probably know the difference as well. However, for me, I feel that could be a little bit confusion for the casual market, but that's just my opinion. I thought it was a cool name. Some people didn't like it, but I thought it was pretty good. Release date, I think a really solid release date. It's kind of in the middle of Shadow of War, Call of Duty, Destiny, Star Wars Battlefront. So all these big holiday games are coming around October, November. And while you're out there spending your money, going to pick up your copy of FIFA or Destiny or whatever, you're in a spending mood, you may pick it up. So I think that was a pretty good release date, in my humble, probably wrong, I'm not a business expert, but I thought that was a pretty good release window. So what else we got? It is the smallest Xbox ever. Now, if you have an Xbox One OG like I do, you'll know this thing is like I don't even know what to call it. It's like a massive box. I don't. It's huge. I've got to be honest. And then it's got a massive power brick as well. I really like the design of the Xbox One S, and it is basically a little bit smaller than the Xbox One S. So have to give credit to Microsoft's design team. It looks beautiful. I really like the color. I really like the design. It's basically a more powerful Xbox One S, which to me, I really love the design of that, and I kind of wish maybe I waited for the One S at least. But yeah, pretty damn cool in my opinion. Next up, they showed Forza 7. Now, this will be coming out October 7th. Now, I was a little bit surprised at that, because I thought they may want to make a bundle, have a Forza bundle. I think that's, looking at the lineup, that is their biggest game. As far as I'm aware, in my opinion, I think that's their biggest game. So I was surprised it wasn't bundled with it. However, October 7th, gotta say, the game looked beautiful. I'm not a racing guy. I like Gran Turismo, and I like MotorStorm, and so I like more the arcade races. I thought Forza Horizon was fantastic. I'm probably not going to pick up Forza 7, but on a graphics standpoint, that looked incredible. I've got to say, if you haven't checked it out, you've got a 4K TV, make sure you check it out. There'll be some on the Xbox YouTube channel. I really recommend it because the game did look stunning. So yeah, fantastic. I think it was leaked earlier, but to me, a Forza game at an Xbox conference isn't really a leak. But Forza 7 coming October 7th. Yeah, really cool. Next up, Metro Exodus. And this, again, looked fantastic. It's obviously it's not exclusive, and we'll talk about it in the recap, but there's a problem with the conference, and it was not too many exclusives. But Metro Exodus looked really good. The animations, the graphics, the gunplay, just everything about it looked really, really good. And I've never played a Metro game. There's been two before. I may have to pick those two up because this looked incredible, I must say. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the franchise. I've never played them. I've seen them on sale sometimes, so I'll probably wait for a sale. But yeah, looked fantastic, and I think that could be a really fun game when that comes out. Next up, Assassin's Creed Empire. Another very beautiful game. The problem was quite a few frame drops, but you can tell that they've took a year off, an extra year of development, and it's what the Assassin's Creed, game needed. The genre needed a little bit of a refresh, in my opinion, and they certainly have done it. I thought it was really cool. I love the way they took like the eagle and then they scouted people. I thought that was really cool. I like the stealth elements, I like a lot of stealth games, so I thought that was really good. I love Assassin's Creed anyway, but the problem was they were getting a little bit repetitive. And yeah, maybe it's had a year off and it hasn't had too many changes, but to me, I thought that looked fantastic. So yeah, awesome to see. Next up, there was Battlegrounds. Now, I have kind of heard of this game, but I've never played it. I haven't really seen any gameplay for it. It's huge on PC apparently. That's the only reason I heard of it. It's big on Twitch. Now this is a console exclusive. However, it could be timed because it says launch window or launch year. It was so weird that the messaging, it was very weird. It was very cryptic. It's almost like we don't want to tell you this is a timed exclusive, so we'll hint at it. So I think it's a timed exclusive. I cannot say 100%, but yeah, it looked pretty fun. I'm not the multiplayer guy. If you've watched my channel for a while, I like one here or there. Not a huge multiplayer guy, but if you are, this looks pretty fun. Next up, Deep Rock Galactic. Now, this was a little indie game. Won't talk too much on it. It reminded me a little bit of a PlayStation exclusive. I can't remember which one it was called. I think I put a video on my channel of it a while back. The Tomorrow Children, that was it. So it looked a little bit like that. No interest whatsoever. But yeah, let's get on to the next one. State of Decay 2. I've got to say, it looked rough, considering it was shown on the Scorpio. The Scorpio was obviously powerful. I mean, we saw with Forza and stuff, but this game did look rough. There was a lot of, it didn't run very smoothly, and the animations looked really bad. Like, she was hitting a zombie or whatever with like an axe, and she wasn't even hitting them. The blood and stuff didn't really look anything like it. The facial animations, it looked a little bit rough. So that, it looked a little bit more like Days Gone, from what they've shown. But yeah, not for me. It just looked very rough. So hopefully they can sort it out before it launches. But yeah, looked a little rough, in my opinion. The next one, they showed the Darwin Project. Now this is a console exclusive. Again, it may be timed because they had the weird messaging. But the Darwin Project is, to me, it looked a little bit like Overwatch. So that sort of, arena-based shooter. It looked pretty cool. All I can say is I couldn't really focus because there was just a guy on stage I've never seen before screaming in a mic. So yeah, I don't know why they had him on, but yeah, it was weird. So the Darwin Project, though, it looked a little bit like an Overwatch sort of game. Not the biggest fan of, so I'll probably leave it again, these multiplayer games. But hey, it's nice that they, for that audience. Next up, Minecraft. Now they showed 4K texture packs and all that sort of stuff. Again, Minecraft at E3. Does anyone really care? It's like when EA show like all the sports games. It's like, yeah, they sell a lot, but nobody cares at this event. Anyway, 4K texture packs and stuff. I don't play Minecraft, so it's not a big deal. However, they did announce a big sort of thing, and that was everyone is now connected together. So the PS4 players will play with the Xbox players, and the mobile gamers and the PC gamers. And I thought that was pretty cool. Xbox have been pushing this for some time now, so it's nice to see it come through. Doesn't really bother me, but yeah, it's nice to come through. Again, I don't really play Minecraft, so it's not a big deal for me. Next up, they showed Dragon Ball Z. Now, they did have a little bit of a Japanese section, which I was so happy for. Phil Spencer did go to Japan, and a lot of people were like, why are you going there and whatever. Is he going to actually do anything, or is he just going to show that he went? But it was nice to see that they actually did get a few Japanese games, even if it's just stopping them being exclusive to the PS4. That's good for the Xbox gamers. Now, there was a Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Now, I have no interest in it. Xenoverse, I think, was the last one on the PS4. I never bought it. I'm not a big fighting game fan. I'm not a big Dragon Ball Z fan, so yeah, not really interested in me. However, I know a lot of people like this, so I'm sure the Xbox community is going to be very happy, though it is, again, a multi-plat game. Next up, Black Desert. Now, this is a console exclusive again. I don't think it's timed, but it might be. And it's an MMO RPG. For me, I don't really play MMO RPGs, though the game did look very beautiful, and I respect Xbox for getting a console exclusive Japanese game, because they really have been struggling with Sony with the likes of Persona, Nier Automata, and all these games, and you haven't had too much on the Xbox side. So I'm really happy about that. Last night, then it says The Last Night, and it's like a pixelated indie game. This is an exclusive. Well, looked pretty cool actually. It looked like a detective game. Obviously not a huge game, but again, a few criticisms of Xbox has been the fact that, yeah, it's kind of neglected the indie scene, and it's kind of neglected the Japanese scene. So at least it's got, a few of those games. I mean, a lot of indies. I was very surprised to see how many indies at the conference. But nonetheless, The Last Night looked cool. Again, people are saying it's not exclusive. I didn't really see this on my stream. I don't know if I was looking in the wrong place, but people are saying there's this little message like a year exclusive or launch window exclusive. So I cannot 100% say that these are exclusive. It may be sort of a time thing, so bear that in mind. But yeah, it looked good. The Artful Escape looked very strange. Yeah, that's all I can say. I don't really know what to say for that. Next up, Code Vein. Now, this is from Bandai Namco, and this did look really, really good. Now, I don't think it showed gameplay. It kind of showed like a teaser trailer or whatever, whatever they call it, like a trailer. It wasn't in-game stuff, but yeah, Code Vein looked really good. It's a multi-plat though, but at least, it's stopping these games being full exclusive to the PS4. So respect, Phil Spencer and everything for doing that, because yeah, it could have easily just not done it. So if you're an Xbox gamer, at least you get in the game instead of, well, not getting the game. So yeah, awesome to see. Next up, Sea of Thieves. Now, to me, they spent far too long on this game. So they showed it off, and first off, he's jumping into the sea. I thought, do you know what? This could be pretty cool. showing the looting system or whatever, diving in the sea, the shark and everything with your friends. I thought, yeah, it's pretty cool. And then it just kept going on and on and on. And that was a theme tonight with the games. It was like, it was an hour and 40 minutes, but you could have condensed that to an hour. There was so much rambling on. I know from me, I do ramble on my channel, but my God, that was brutal. It was just kind of, yeah, just too much repetitive stuff, not just letting us enjoy the game. There was always an actor telling us about, oh, isn't it great that you can do this and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was a little bit, just out of touch. Let the gamers decide. I'm sure they can understand what a game is from you just showing them it, showing them the gameplay. You don't need to tell them all this sort of stuff, how you need your teammates to help you. So yeah, it was a little bit frustrating. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Sea of Thieves anyway. I think it looks a bit boring, and as a fan of like the Banjo-Kazooie games, yeah, it's kind of annoying to see Rare, which used to be such a great developer, making Sea of Thieves like it's an okay game. But from what the developer used to be to this, yeah, I'm not too sure how I feel about that. However, for those who are interested, yeah, pretty good. I think it's coming out 2018, but I didn't see it on the screen, so I do apologise about that. Next up, Tacoma. Now, this is from the guys who made Gone Home, so it's going to have a good story element to it. It's going to be an emotional story. So, yeah, I'm really interested to see that. Big problem again from this conference was a lot of the bigger games were all online games. It was all online games. It was nice to see a single player game, get a bit of respect, a bit of love or whatever. And yeah, Tacoma, I haven't seen too much about it, but it should be a pretty decent game. So console exclusive again, bear in mind it may be timed, but as we know now, console exclusive. Next up, now they trolled me really hard on this because I almost went mental. I glad I deleted the tweet because I almost went crazy with Super Lucky's Tale. And you might be like, what the hell? Why would you get excited about that? I thought for a minute it was a new Conker's game. I love Conker. I thought, oh my God, Rare, they're making a Conker game. I'm losing it. They're making 2 games. I thought, I can't wait for this. And then they showed this, and it was like just like a B-Tech version of Conker. It wasn't the real one. And it was like a toned down version, and I don't really know what to say. It was, yeah, definitely a bit of a letdown to me, considering I actually like Conker, and this was, yeah, just didn't seem that good. Looked okay though, looked a fun platformer. Still probably pick it up, but yeah, pretty annoying that it wasn't what I wanted. But November 7th, that's coming out, so pretty cool. Next up, Cuphead. Now, I was hyped about this. This for me was the second best game, to be honest, shown at the conference. And we'll get on to the best game soon. But this to me was the standout game. I love the look of Cuphead. Like, I'm not the Xbox guy or anything, but that, ever since I saw it, I just want to see more. Like, I've got an Xbox for that and Scalebound, which, we won't talk about too much, but yeah, Cuphead, it's coming September 29th. I'm a little bit worried in a sense of, the whole... I like the fact when it was like just boss levels. Now it's going to have like, different levels in there. So we'll have to see about that. But September 29th, coming a little bit sooner than I thought. I thought this might have been a 2018 game. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Can't wait to play this game. And even though they didn't show any gameplay, which, is always a worrying sign, particularly when the game's so close. However, either way, I still think it's one of the better games because of the gameplay I saw a few years ago. And yeah, I'm just hyped for this game in general. Next up, Crackdown 3. Now, this will be launching day and date, with the Xbox Scorpio. I'm sure there'll be a ton of bundles with that. November 7th coming out. I had no real interest in Crackdown 3 with all this power of the cloud and all that sort of stuff. Didn't interest me in the slightest. But the only cool thing Crackdown had was the destructibility. And now they've took away the destructibility, or they haven't took it away completely, but it's very toned down. Like, there was people shooting rockets into bridges and they weren't falling down. Nothing was really that destructible, and when that was your big selling point on the game, the whole cloud-based rendering and power of the cloud, and then you have to strip all that away because you can't get the game to run, that is worrying. Again, I'm not a Crackdown fan, like, I've never played one of the games. I've watched a little bit of gameplay. Don't really interest me in the slightest. Crackdown 3 didn't interest me before the show, and it's took about the one cool thing that it may have had. So I'm not too sure how I feel about this. And like I said, it's a bit strange that this is the launch game. Like, this is the game you're trying to show off the Xbox with, because it's not particularly that good looking. It's not that particularly impressive anymore as a technical masterpiece as Crackdown 3 would have been with all the destructibility. So it's kind of just a Crackdown. Like, I don't know what to say. I thought, again, maybe Forza should have swapped places, but either way, whatever. It don't really matter. Next up was a sizzle reel. Now, I'm not going to go through all the games because it was like 10, 15 games. They were all indie games. None of them really interest me, so we're going to skip over that. But there was a sizzle reel. And next up, Life is Strange Before the Storm. Now, this is not Life is Strange 2. This is like a prequel to that. So that's really cool. I loved Life is Strange, the first one. I thought it was a really good game. Not the best of like the I know it's not made by Telltale, but those sort of interactive movie sort of games. Not the best one, but it's definitely a solid game. Really good story. A little bit on the hipster side for me, but yeah, still a pretty good game. So I'm really excited for that. I can't wait for that. Next up, Shadow of War. Now, I really like the Nemesis system. I love the first Shadow of War. It took me so much by surprise. I had no interest in getting it. I watched the Rad Brad. If you've seen his YouTube channel, he's a lot bigger than me. I saw him, and then I picked up the game, and then I just fell in love with it. It was such a good game. It threw me off guard. Shadow of War. The Nemesis system has been expanded, so like you can have the orcs come, like they're an army with you. I thought that was really cool. I love that sort of thing that they set up. The only problem I have with it, the graphics didn't look that good. Now, graphics aren't everything, but bear in mind this was running on the Scorpio, so how is this going to run on the Pro? How is this going to run on the OG PS4 and the Xbox One? I'd be worried about that if I was to be honest with you. However, it still looked fun. The combat looked awesome. So yeah, I can't wait to personally get my hands on it. I'm still getting it, but yeah, I think they could have been smarter with the release date. It's coming out this year. It's coming out with a lot of big games. So yeah, the smartest idea. But however, all that aside, Shadow of War, I cannot wait for this game coming out pretty soon. Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Now, I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but another Ori game. This was one of the better showings of the show. I'd say probably third, behind Cuphead and another game, coming up. But this was a really a big highlight for me of the show. They had the piano on there playing, some really emotional music, and the game just looked fantastic. I never beat the first one. I've got to be completely honest with you with that. But it was a good story-driven game. And Xbox just factually, in my opinion, needs more story-driven single-player experiences. And if they can do that with Ori and the Ori and the Will of the Wisp, then that's fantastic for me. I'm going to be getting this. Can't wait. And yeah, I'm really, really happy that they've given this game another chance. must have sold well, especially for an indie game. You know, it got such high praise. But yeah, I'm buzzing that this has got a second game, and yeah, coming out hopefully. I think it said 2018, so yes, should be pretty cool when that comes. Now, the big drop the mic moment at the conference was OG Xbox backwards compatibility. Um, Again, it's another E3 conference where the big thing was backwards compatibility. Like I've said it many times before, PlayStation 5 just needs to have backwards compatibility. It shouldn't be an option. It must have it, in my opinion, just because of the pure, principle behind it. You know, I think if you spend years buying games, you should be able to play those games on your new system, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's a great feature. It was a bit weird how everyone went mental about it. I was a bit surprised. I've never played the OG Xbox, to be honest with you, so it's not a case of like I'm really hyped for it. If there's any good games and they get maybe achievement patches or whatever, then maybe. But yeah, like I said, it's not really a big thing to me because I never played OG Xbox. But I understand why people are hyped for it. So yeah, let's move on. And the second to last thing, they finally announced the price of this thing, and yeah, it's coming out November 7th again, $499 US. Now it should be £429. Now that is the equal amount. However, we all know if you live in the UK, it doesn't quite work like that, and it will probably be £450. To me, to be honest with you, just 100% honest, I always try to be on my channel, that is far too expensive for the exclusives that they offered to me. When I looked at that, they put zero, and I mean zero, new AAA console exclusives. I ain't even asking for full exclusives. I just want the console exclusives because, I'm not a PC gamer. So I wanted those, console exclusives. And they showed nothing. I'm sorry to, if you're an Xbox fan, but we've got to be honest here. They showed literally zero new games, They showed a lot of third-party games. They showed some timed exclusives, some console exclusives, some exclusive indie games. But they didn't show a single new AAA exclusive. To me, that is unacceptable at any conference. If Sony in a few days just come out and show, well, we got The Last of Us, we got Spider-Man. No, where's the new game? You know what I mean? I don't care how good the old games you showed were. You've got to show new games. And to me, it was unacceptable. For that price, I should have a new Halo game, minimum. I should have a new form of Gears, The only new game you could argue is Forza, the yearly franchise. But that's kind of like saying, well, I can justify a Pro because, well, MLB The Show. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really work like that, in my opinion. That's at least how I'm looking at it. And it really sucks because I was really hoping to get a Scorpio. I know it sounds a bit weird, I'm a PlayStation guy. I don't play the Xbox that much. But I was really hoping that Sunset Overdrive 2, a Rise Son of Rome, a new IP, a couple of Japanese exclusives maybe, a complete, whatever it may be, even a timed exclusive, like Rise of the Tomb Raider, or, that Marvel game coming from Square Enix. I'd have loved that, because it gives me a reason to go out and get this $500, £450 or whatever console. At this point, it's like, I can already play Ori and the Blind Forest. It's not a graphically demanding game. State of Decay 2, not a graphically demanding game. Crackdown 3's clearly been downscaled because of the OG Xbox One. So there's no real reason for me to get it on that. To me, although I think they definitely announced and showed off this console far, far better than the PS4 Pro, to me they have not sold it in the slightest. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Of course, let me know, guys, down below your thoughts. But all that aside, you know, it was definitely a boring conference in my opinion. They showed very little. The games weren't very good. There was very few surprises. However, to end on a positive note, because I try not to be too negative. To end on a positive note, let's talk about Anthem. Now, I discussed in yesterday's video the fact that Anthem would be shown at Microsoft conference, and oh boy was it. It was shown, and it was shown in a brilliant way. The gameplay in this looked superb. I loved everything about it. It looked... Now, I'm not like a BioWare fan like that. I'm not like a huge Mass Effect fan or anything like that. But this game was literally perfect for me. You know, it's open world. It looked like Dead Space, to be honest with you, and I really like Dead Space. So, yeah, this game was absolutely superb. After, to me, a very boring, a very long-winded conference, this was the highlight. Still to this day, without Sony, Ubisoft and anything like that showing their conferences, this to me is the game of the show so far. You know, bear that in mind, so far, game of the show. But with all that being said, this is just my opinion, guys. Let me know down below. Were you a big fan of Microsoft conference? Did you think it was awesome? Are you hyped for Crackdown? Are you hyped for State of Decay? Let me know down below. Or are you like me, a little bit long-winded, a little bit, you know, you wanted a little bit more, a bit expensive for the Scorpio? Let me know down below. But as always, guys, this has been M&M Gaming. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll catch you guys in a new video.